Alright, welcome back everybody to episode 2 of Abiotic Factor. So, in the last episode, we got a decent chunk done. I may not have been the happiest with how I explained the game to begin with, how it's an open sandbox kind of scientist Half-Life-esque, but I hope that it was at least entertaining to watch. So, in this episode, we have a very urgent thing to do as soon as we go into our world, and it is head back to the main cafeteria where we originally camped out to get that anvil. So, going on in. It is quite late, and so this is going to be difficult for us. So, we have about a half hour before the lights turn off, so we want to get there and at least get the anvil in our hands, and then we can plot our way back. There's going to be a robot roaming as soon as the lights turn off, both in the room we're in, the server room, and down here in the main lobby. We can't run for very long because our sprinting skill is low, but that will go up in time. This is not where I meant to go. We can kind of stealth around the robot for the most part. I think we can also outrun it so long as we have the stamina, but there may have also been things that I left here. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pop some iodine. I should have probably grabbed that on the way out, but I don't actually know where it's gonna put me. Is it through? No, is it through here? Yeah. We're able to just wander right through, grab some duct tape. Wait, what? I think I missed it. Oh, hold on. Okay. So, there should be an anvil. Oh, we can come in here super early. What? Wow. Oh. Wow. Okay, actually, I didn't even know that. Also, this would make an acceptable base if it were a little bit easier to get into. Okay. 31 9mm is also fat, because once we get the security pistol, it's gonna be pretty easy. Alright. Anvil is, like, kinda heavy, but it's manageable. We're probably not gonna be back here for a while, so I want to just go ahead and get what I can get. So yeah, right now I would consider us, like, spoiled, and so there are so many things that we don't have to worry about yet that we will later. So if I want to continue being greedy... Okay. Thought I was going to be able to get my hands on a filing cabinet. Nah. Wishful thinking. Alright. Oh! Okay. There's not really anywhere that we can sleep, and it's only 3 in the morning. We're gonna need to use the restroom, which is a little difficult for the first part of the game. There is gonna be a robot in here. It's gonna see me. It's not gonna see me. Out like a bandit. Alright. Only one we have left to worry about is the one here in the data farm. Why are the lights on? Oh, crap. Okay, it didn't even see us. So now we're set to just hang out in our little base area. Alright. We need to drop this carbuncle off with the rest. But when morning comes, we should be able to go ahead and work on that. Security bot will also take care of the pests and peccaries that it comes across, so I think I just heard it squish. Yeah, it squished one of the pests. We can actually go down and harvest one of those. So now, and these things are anomalies. We can learn about them a little later once we find an email dedicated to them. But if we have a test tube, we can capture those. So, few things on my mind. I would like... For right now, carbuncle balloon is big. So hose, 2 rubber band, 2 bio. Hose, 2 rubber band ball, 2 bio scrap. 2 rubber band balls. And we will be able to find way more of these materials later on. We want a better backpack. Which I feel like I remember them saying that you could get one early, and I think it was through that vent area, but I don't know enough about the game quite yet to remember that. Okay, here we go. So yeah, carbuncle balloon. So right now we've got that much, and then if we slap a trinket on, it reduces it by a little bit. So I think everything is just a little bit less heavy. So, for time being, go ahead and drink some water. Food's going to be a little more complicated, but we don't have to really worry about that. We can do something that's going to be a pain in the butt, and it's going to be a little wasteful now, but I think it'll be better in the long run, and it's if we go here. We don't have to do it yet. So it's when we run out of water is when I want to go ahead and do it. But even this water cooler weighs practically nothing, which is great. And we never did end up going in here. We already got the pest. Alright, that's a normal backpack. We have that. Grab a lamp. I'd like a table. Okay. But we're carrying all this stuff, and it's weighing essentially nothing. Alright, email terminal. What do we got? This dog thing. It's a peccary. So we finally caught one of those dog things. KP called it a peccary until she realized how large it was. I've noticed behaviors different in here than in Antiverse 2. She has a theory that the lower entropy on this side makes their biochemistry more potent. They're stronger. Certainly seems more angry. Interesting. Certainly the energy differential is strongly in our favor, but I wouldn't jump to conclusions. Team on level 3's figured out a way to use the differential in their power cell design. Catch Mayfield at lunch sometime, she'll talk your ear off. This thing needs to stop. Makeshift bed. Vacuums. I would like a vacuum. Randy Savage? Okay. So we once again had the chance to get a huge filing cabinet. This is the one that I feel will do it. Oh, I wasn't actually expecting it to work. Okay. So I'm encumbered, but I'm carrying a metric ton of stuff. So we are carrying a ridiculous amount of stuff on us. A full water cooler, a table, and a gigantic filing cabinet. So yeah, we've got quite a good little area going. And I like to deal with trying to line them all up, and then we can do like a horseshoe shape of stuff. There we go. I just like the idea of a table near the bed, because this is like where we can put all of our mementos and stuff. Another water cooler. I realize I don't need to pick it up to move it. I can just kind of slap it down. That's for if I break my leg, though. That's not like a permanent fixture. Put a light behind it, just so we have that illuminated. So, next up is going to be a makeshift stove so that we can get some food stockpiled. So, portable stove. Coil plastic scrap keyboard pipe. Plastic scrap, metal pipe, keyboard, coil. And with that, I'm also going to need to make... I'd like to make 2 plug strips, but I don't know how expensive they are. Where is it? I'd also like to make a vacuum. That's what the carbuncle... Oh my, that scared me. Yeah, plug strip. It looks weird. We need a power supply unit. We need to go bust up all of the... Can I make 2? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make a vacuum, I think. It's a good idea. Energy brick, tech scrap, case fan, circuit board. I accidentally just put something in there that I didn't mean to, and I don't remember what it was. It might have been the bioscrap. Okay. Need tech scrap. I have plenty. I needed something else. No? Okay. So that's that. And then pipe gauge raw carbuncle. Then a peccary skull. What do I need? Pipes and gauges? Sweet. So we're still a little bit radiated, but that's because I want to make... So glue and paper scrap to make a peccary skull helmet. It'll be nice once we can use containers. So go ahead and equip this in place of our chef hat, and we can break down the chef hat once we have a little bit more resources to make a... I mean, we got the anvil. We can probably just go ahead and make it. But we did make 2 plug strips, and what this is going to do is we can put that there, and then we can put this here, and so we can detach that, attach this, and then attach this power strip to this power strip. And now we have 5 usable sockets. Actually, we should probably use one of the closer ones for that. Oh, nope. Alright. And then we need to make the disassembly table, because that is going to be useful for raw, like, scrap stuff. So, coil pipe duct tape. Duct tape, pipe. I believe we were out of coils? Yeah, we need to go get some. We need to go charge up our vacuum first, though. We're also going to need to worry about the restroom, and it is only 10 in the morning, meaning we... Okay. So what I can do is there is a charging station. I believe it's right over here. So I can leave this here. That's going to take a minute to charge, so while it's charging... Let's go use the restroom. Trust me, the poop minigame is necessary for this game. Alright. I like that you can see our balloon, and it looks like a different enemy from later in the game, so it scares my friend when he's using the restroom in here because, all right, I've missed my poop skill shot 14 times. Just keep scooping up some water. Another healing syringe, some iodine, some bandages. Bandages are important because I don't think you stop bleeding on your own, so you will just die. And what we can do is we can actually just package up the med kit. So, yeah, that's... Idiot. Ow. Okay. So I have the portable stove now, so it would not actually hurt for me to get some of this. Alright. I don't think the skull is necessary, so I'm actually just going to drop the skull off in here, and then wonder why I get radiated when I walk through the locker room. So we have stock options when it comes to food, because we can do cooked food, and then worry about water the normal way, or we can do soup, which does both food and thirst, and it has an additional effect. Okay, so, my thing just finished charging. I need to get this out of my inventory, and then we need to slap down the makeshift oven and plug it in. So now, if we go back over here, and we grab our pans, so now comes the race. So I'm going to run down, and I'm going to grab my vacuum that I made. And the vacuum has another use besides just vacuuming up items and like breaking down breakables. It also allows us to suck up a pest and use it as a weapon. And once we get the materials to make shock traps, I'm going to set up shock traps for this robot. Okay. So I'm hoping... Okay, they're not even done yet. Sweet. So, food can burn. Food can burn very easily, and then it becomes, like, gross, nasty slop that you just kind of have to throw away. And I'm going to set up my first aid kit up against this pole. And that can kind of... Oh, there we go. So, pork chop done. Eat a pork chop. Gives us a nice little chunk of food. When we're well fed and well taken care of on thirst, we gain additional stats. So we are a little bit better. The time for nets has kind of dwindled. So we can put that away. And we're working on the repair and salvage station, which we're going to require some stuff. But since we have such good carry weight, even carrying an anvil around and everything, and then the vacuum is normally a little heavier. Alright, there we go. So, cooking 1. So now we're going to want to tear apart every animal we kill with sharp melee, which is why I made the spear. And that's going to give us food. Then we want to make... Actually, can I pick up this fridge? I can. We'll keep this food, because this is good food. But we'll take the fridge, because to my knowledge... The fridge gives you... Okay, I need to carry that, like, in my inventory. I'm still very heavy. How heavy is this? 66... Oh, 67? Sorry. Okay, fridge is a lot heavier than I thought. And you have a good chance when you jump with over-encumbered like this. When the little carryman icon appears, that means you are, like, way overweight. And... yeah, it's gonna hurt my legs. So, fridge can go ahead and go here. And so I believe the fridge provides a decent bit of... yeah, radiation. So 25%. It's not phenomenal, but it's better than just constantly being radiated. So we'll keep our food in there. I wish it was 100% radiation resistant, obviously, but, I mean, we get containers later, like way later, that have pretty... I think any of the ones that you have to use a key for have 100%. So now if I take my vacuum, we can just go ahead and grab, like, all the stuff that we need. Sick. I forgot to put my potato away. So we got 2 coils. That's what we needed for the repair and salvage station. Repair and salvage station is not a necessity, but it is a nice thing to have, and you're going to be happy that you have it. Because what it does is it breaks down complex things into its material parts. Actually, I will eat these chippies because thirst is a much easier thing to take care of right now. And it's 1:20 p.m. We're going to try to wait to sleep until tonight because it will just make it easier. Alright. So, repair and salvage station. This can actually get tucked in the back here. There we go. And then plug this little jimmy in. So, we can now make a box of screws and circuit board, which is sick. So, we can use material, so like, let's say my spear's breaking down. I can use 1 scrap metal to repair the makeshift spear. Or, I can click on the trash can icon, and like this chef hat, turn it into cloth scraps. So everything that you look at and it says can be scrapped, it'll give us plastic scrap and glass scrap. And the scraps are very important for later because you just stop collecting them after a while. You're like, hey, I don't really need... I feel like I don't really need this stuff anymore. And then you stop collecting it, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I need like 70... I need like 70 glass scrap or something ridiculous. Okay. So let's go back down into our data farm and use up some of this. So what we're working towards, and we're going to unpin all recipes, because I know what I need. So, is it that? Yeah, so the makeshift stuff is decent. It gives you more carry capacity. It's not like fantastic, but it's nice to have at least like each type of armor. And then we need Exor hearts to get the thing that lets us craft using what's around us, which is a little unfortunate. And I'm just trying to loot everything for everything that it's worth. We're high enough level construction that I'm willing to gamble on the large, what do you call it? The large, filing cabinets. I don't know why I blanked so hard on that. That was crazy. Gotta let it charge. It does use up a decent bit of energy, but we're getting, like, really nice... We're getting really nice, stuff. Alright. Vacuum's back. So yeah, we're gonna stick with this base for a while, and then the next base we do is when we get to, I believe, laboratories. Oh. Nope. Okay. Oh my goodness. That was actually very impressive. I had a low chance to get both of those, and I ended up grabbing them. But it seems like, oh man, you have a lot of storage space. You haven't even touched that big filing cabinet yet. And then it's like, I understand how it could seem that way, but I in fact am a goblin, and I like to collect actually everything. And that's the way I play most of these games. You should see me in Terraria without magic storage. Like, vanilla Terraria is terrible because I want everything. Like, what if I need this shackle? What if I need this really, like, pedantic early game item later? And in some cases you do. Like in this, I was throwing away glass scrap because I'm like, why would I possibly want this? And then I realized I really, really, really needed it later. So yeah, just hop in here and we can dump our stuff off at any time. And we have a wealth of desk lamps, so we can just keep our little area nice and lit up. That kind of illuminates the cooking thing. We can set up a battery chain for specifically the stove, because the stove, it's nice to cook things overnight when you're not wasting time doing it during the day. But for right now, anything that we kill, we want to go ahead and butcher so that we can get food off of it. And let's loot in here, because sometimes there can be some pretty sick stuff, I say as there's nothing. I might have looted this last episode and completely forgot, which, if I did, please forgive me. I don't think I would have left plastic scrap, though. And like these knives, and this frying pan... Oh my. Yeah, knives and frying pan might not seem particularly useful, but you can break down the... You can break down the stuff. Alright. Filling up quite nicely. And then I know for a fact you want to give me another one of these. Nope. Inventory full. There's no reason that I don't want to just try to package them up, because like the crapshoot that I do manage to get it. Because even carrying a filing cabinet, I mean, my weight is fine. And I want to try to make sure that before night hits us that I recharge everything before night hits. So this is where I'm going to kind of sidewall my thing. Because then later we can put like a rug in the middle of it and have a light fixture of some kind, and it'll be nice. And then we dump off our stuff. And each time we might get like an extra thing or two. And then kitchen knife, scrap it, and then use it to repair our spear. Just because I like the noise. I know it was wasteful, but I wanted to show everybody the noise. But duct tape is like sacred. Duct tape is a very useful thing. But in addition to duct tape being a useful thing, the vacuum is also quite nice because it makes looting like this way easier. So it's about 5 p.m. now. And we have $23 in monies, so we might want to start clearing out the soda machines, because it's easier to carry 4 soda cans than a water bottle, especially if you don't have a way to generate water easily. Because we can boil water, don't get me wrong, but it's time-consuming and tedious. But we'll be fine on computer parts as soon as this is finished going, because if we just have a full stack of computer parts, you don't really craft consumables out of computer parts. You craft like permanent fixtures and stuff, of which I'll need a finite amount, so we'll be okay. Okay. Item can eventually be upgraded as well, so we'll be able to enhance it later at an enhancement table. Same with most of our weapons. That thing takes a little bit to charge. I can come in here and vacuum up the table. Thank you, charging station. While I am vacuuming up this room, please recharge my flashlight. Okay, that's not actually a keyboard. Perfect. Alright. Box. And it's just so good. We just have so many good early game materials now that we have made the vacuum and just ripped up everything. So we have a couple other areas that we need to explore. I took you guys to the pool last time we went, and the pool area has a wealth of resources. Also a wealth of danger. And so yeah, now we have keyboards and power supplies and stuff in here. Just another lamp. I like to put them down because then they don't use up chest space, and I can always move them because there's no chance that it'll break once it's like, if it's something small like that. And I realize I'm carrying a frying pan with me, which I do not need, but that's okay. You guys would never laugh at me. Yeah, I'd never thought about how weird YouTube is, but it's like, I'm talking to nobody. I'm talking to you in the future, you watching this current moment. And it's quite odd, but I have so many thoughts while I'm playing video games anyways, that I figured I would throw them out in the ethos and hopefully somebody finds them entertaining. And also, it's like, it puts it into perspective. When I looked at the YouTube analytic thing, I didn't know it existed. It shows like how many people watched your thing and for how long and that whole thing. It's like your stats. And it was weird because it was like, I had a video that had 100 views. And I was like, well, 100 views, it's a good starting point, but that's not a whole lot. And then I thought about it and I was like, I've been in a room with 100 people. And that's a lot. That's a lot of people. Do I want an office armchair for up there? It would be nice to go at the foot of my bed. Okay, this is what I wanted. This is the little area that I like. Cuz I feel as though those things respawn. Or maybe it's just because there were so many of them. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick little doohickey that I have here. And so for right now, we're just stocking up the base. We are getting geared to our teeth, because the less time we have to spend grinding later, once we have more things to grind for, we want a strong basis of, like, plastic scrap, metal scrap, paper scrap. You want all the scraps, and then you want anything that can craft you an energy brick for most of the game. And it seems as though I'm starting to fill up on stacks of things. So let me wheel over a little bit. Actually, let me park this at the conference table. And then this can go like that. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Perfect. Alright, we have a nice little area. So now we gotta go get our vacuum. And then it's almost night, and we are going to sleep through night because I don't have anything that I need to do during this night. The big thing is that I feel as though I've gotten enough storage that I only want the huge filing cabinets, meaning I can instead break these ones down and come around and collect all the paper scrap that I didn't want out of the other ones. Because metal scrap, just as important as the other scraps, but you find it less often, but you also get one whenever you drink a soda can, which is why I like to set that up. I like to set up a nice little stockpile of soda cans up there. So we can come down here and bust up the old wallet. But there will be pests and peccaries that respawn in here when we leave the area and come back every so often, and that is also good because that's a renewable source of food that we can also butcher. If we wander into the... Yeah, I get it. I promise I get it. Okay. Didn't realize I missed this little area. Eat some cheesy poofs. Have a little sippy of my water. Okay. And then... I just want a good chunk of metal scrap, is really all there is to it. The bigger ones obviously give more metal scrap, but that's sensible. Take all the paper scrap. Another long couch. Normally I have to finagle the long couches in a way that I have to try to get like 5 or 6 of them because I just keep breaking them, but we actually did it first try. And then later on we get a military cot, and the military cot is phenomenal because... Alright, that's bad because Robot immediately came out. The good thing is that there's no other enemies in here and we can play around him, so... He looks like he's on his way out, so I can actually just head back. Might have just jinxed myself. So yeah, running obviously makes more noise than walking. But he looks like he left the area. So we're going to actually pin the recipe for shock traps, and we're going to try... Okay. That guy always scares the crap out of me because I forget he exists. He's called the Coworker, and it is a human-looking entity that crawls around on the floor and asks for food. Okay. But we have the overflow, so it looks like we have full stacks of some of this stuff, so like 64 tech scrap, 64 metal scrap, like that's good for crafting. And then to make the bench upgrade, level 2 crafting, which I'm pretty sure we've been had, and then item transporter we just need 2 Exor hearts for. Exor hearts are pretty difficult, and then once we get antiverse wheat, we can make a Dioxo healer. Passively heals nearby players, and then if you have farmable plants, it increases it, but I just want, like, a little bit. But we have a medkit hanging on the wall, which is why I grabbed that. So we just need antiverse wheat, and we'll get that a little later. Reinforced bench is mid. Portal suppression field is later. The spontaneous matter synthesizer is, like, the best. But I have to be crafting level 15, and I need to get a neutrino mapper, which we can't get until way later on. So for the moment, let's go ahead and break in our new bed. Bed set as respawn point, so we can come back home when we die. So now you can see down in the bottom left corner, there, right above our wristwatch icon, there's a bed with 2 forward arrows. That basically means we are passing time by sleeping. So you can hear the beeping of my watch as the hours fly by. And we are going to do a little expedition down into the home gym area before the end of the episode, because I feel bad that this has just been, like, making a house a home. Because there is quite a bit of exploration, but there is also quite a bit of... Okay, so the robot is still out. I can't handle a robot right now, so we need to just hope... I don't think it came this way, because it wouldn't be able to get over the couches. Okay, so... Now we just get to come in here. Okay, that's where I put the peccary skull. That's interesting. But we want to make sure, after each of these little forays, we check our carry weight and then run home if we need to. And, drop stuff off. So I think there's a peccary in here or up there somewhere. I could eat chips. And we can go ahead and use the restroom while we're down here. Pool area is also good. There are some creatures that way. Pool area is a sustainable way to get murky water, so the water in here is dirty, but we can get the dirty water and then boil it to purify it. So this takes us here. Okay, we were already here. And we can... Okay, I hear the robot. It should be going back to its dock. And then... we're full. And then also, just long live the staplers. We want staplers whenever we can get our hands on them. Okay, we can only stack 3 of that. Okay. So, I think it said that I had 64 tech scrap, which should just be good for, like, a fat chunk of the game. But right now, our big thing is we want a better backpack. We want to just make little supply runs, grab a few things each time, and then if I can get some raw meat to cook, I can dump it in the fridge till I'm ready to cook it. The fact that I got a potato and a tomato, if I can get a little bit of salt from down there in the kitchen, then we can do soup. That was bad. That was really dumb of me. I hit the wrong button. Some oil. Yeah, 64 tech scrap is crazy good. And then basic backpack, since we're already wearing one, we just get 3 cloth scrap from it, which you can craft into bandages, you can craft into nets, you can do a whole lot of different stuff. And since I already have a full stack of the syringes on me, I want to go ahead and just make sure my medkit is loaded up, because it's good to have spares. I never want to leave a healing syringe just because of once we get to the place where people start having guns and ranged attacks, you start bleeding really often, which will sap your health if you're not in a place you can bandage yourself. So yeah, the salt is a good... Salt's a good thing to have. I don't think I checked... I did check these. Okay. So now we can come over here into the home gym area. And there is a carbuncle. And then these can be scrapped into scrap metal, but there's no risk leaving them around, so I see no reason to... I can dismantle that as well. Okay.
Hello?
Yes. Shut up. Okay. Get some raw carbuncle. It doesn't have to stay raw carbuncle. We can cook it. Hi, lady.
I thought this might be a safe place to wait until they sorted this out. Whatever this is.
Basic
Looks like I
backpack.
was wrong. That useless rent-a-cop in the plaza said to go through manufacturing, then head for the surface tunnel,
I want this
suppose.
stuff.
But that's a whole sector away.
Shut
If
up.
they think I'm walking all that way through their toxic machine shops, they can think again.
Okay, so she's yapping about my favorite sector. I think it's called Manufacturing West. And it's just like an industrial area, and there's this dude named the Blacksmith, and I forgot to poop. Alright. But, yeah, so this is carbuncle. We can use this emergency food source. Our hunger is pretty under control for now. Once we get the hazmat suit, hunger and thirst drain slower while you're wearing it, I'm pretty sure. So we have to keep that in mind. Well, we've been playing it safe so far. We usually just don't go out during the night, and we pass time if we need to. Okay. Drop the salt off, and then we can scrap everything else. Cloth scrap and plastic scrap. And then it's good to have on us, at the very least. We don't need to be ready to eat it right away. But we have an absolutely copious amount of stuff. And we're trying to empty one of these out so we can go ahead and just fill up our water bottle. But we'll wait for these to be done, and then I believe we will be done for the episode. So this was very much like a prep-heavy episode, and I'm probably going to put in the bio that this is, or like designated in the title with like brackets and be like, filler, I guess, would be a good setup. In the future, if it gets too grindy after certain areas, like getting more materials or doing runs of a perforation, I will do some off-screen mining, but not like Minecraft YouTubers where they talk to kids, but rather I would just go into the perforation and get the stuff myself. But I do hope you enjoyed. There's a lot of stuff still around us in this area that we have not searched, and so we are going to do a little loot sweep, but I think for the time being, I am good to go ahead and call that an episode. So, I do hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode.